Well, it seems that Fridays are the days that I've designated to talk about film. So here we go. There are all these Lightroom presets and Photoshop actions that are supposed to give you the look of real film. But man, Portra, Acros, Tri-X, T-Max, HP5 Plus, Superia, all these films have their own characteristics, their own idiosyncrasies. You know, they all have their different grain fingerprints. They all give you different tones. There's so many options out there. And then when you combine that with different processing techniques and styles, different chemicals that you use to process stuff, you know, you pretty much get an infinite palette to work with. Now, most of the processing I've done at home has been black and white. Now, I have done color negative processing and I've done transparency processing. The E6 process is not that difficult. But for the most part, I've done black and white processing of film and prints. And black and white, why black and white? Because it's cheap and it's pretty easy. For black and white processing, I've used chemicals like Kodak D76, HC110. I think that's my favorite one right now. I've used Rodinol and Diafine. And, you know, these specialty mixes, and some of them, I guess you might kind of call them retro mixes because they're not really used anymore. I've used all of them, and they each, again, give me a kind of a different look. You're never going to get the same thing if you change things up. Like, you can change up your agitation style, you can change the temperature. Sometimes you're going to push the film or pull the film. Sometimes you want to leave the film standing in a tank. So many different things that you can do. I mean, again, it's just endless possibilities, and everything that you do differently is going to give you a slightly different look, a different look to the grain, the tones. Now, if you do it long enough and you start developing sort of a consistency to the kinds of films that you like to use and the kinds of processing that you like to do, you know, the style of processing, the different soup, you know, mixtures and dilutions of developer that you like to use, you'll eventually develop a signature style. And I mean, how else is it going to be? You're using materials like film and chemicals and you know, your own style to create something tangible with your own hands. You're making something. So no, you're not going to get the real look of film photography with a Lightroom preset. What you can do is get some really nice looking fakes. Nothing wrong with that. I do that all the time. I've created a lot of my own presets just for that purpose. But I'm really not trying to emulate the look of any specific film. If I want that, I'm going to use that film. If I want a certain look to the, you know, the grain structure, I'm going to process the film in a way to get that grain structure. And there's another big difference here. When you're doing digital manipulation to get a certain look, again, nothing wrong with that. Your goal is to get an end result. Film photography is bigger than that. Film photography is about making something tangible with your hands. It's about creating something out of a process. You know, a real world process. It's true craft. Making something with real materials, with your very own hands, is something that you can never really duplicate on a computer. All right, so that was your Film Friday. Now, it's not really a thing until now because this is like the second Friday in a row that I've kind of designated as the day that I was going to talk about film. So maybe we'll make it a regular thing. Who knows? Anyway, as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Click the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe. That's about it for today. See you next time.